Holy sh! Are you ready for your Vegas vacation? If you haven't seen my channel yet, all of my videos are about where to stay in Las Vegas, where to eat, where to drink, and all the fun activities to do. But today's video is going to be a little different because there are so many unwritten rules that people don't know about. So we have to address some mistakes to avoid while visiting Las Vegas. And I do want you to have a successful vacation. So hopefully my advice on some of these mistakes will help you accomplish that. Starting with number one, and that's here at the airport. Well, not this side of the airport. Let's go this way. So as we're filming this right now, this is right when the glitch happened at the airport and all that stuff. Hopefully by the time this video is out, it's all fixed. Hopefully. We're starting on this side, the arrival section. So for the first mistake, well, it's kind of a mistake sometimes, and that would be taking a taxi from the airport. But the reason I say that it's sometimes a mistake is because, of course, Uber and Lyft, their prices do fluctuate, but the taxis do not. So as you guys can see right here, they do have a list of all the different hotels that you can go to, and they do have fixed rates depending on where you're going. So the prices do vary anywhere from $21, $25 to $29. So if you guys can't have these prices in mind, definitely double check on the Uber and Lyft prices and just kind of compare it to these, just that way you can save yourself a little money. It's the beginning of your vacation, man. Let's start it right. All right, let's go to the strip. Caesar stay here, right?
No.
So for the next mistake, that's gonna be not pre-checking in. So yes, you can pretty much use this advice almost anywhere, but if you do happen to arrive here to Las Vegas pretty early, go ahead and pre-check in here at the front desk because you never know what time your room is gonna be ready. I mean, I've shown up before at 11 a.m. and it's already ready. Sometimes some places they won't give it to you until the 3 o'clock time, but again, you never know. Believe me, I've seen so many long lines here right at 3 o'clock, and that's because people do not know that they have the option to pre-check in. And if it happens to be that you do come and pre-check in but your room is not ready, that's fine. Go ahead and go to the bell desk and just leave your bags right there. That way you're not hauling them around all over the city. And then another mistake, this is a little bit more in the pre-planning era, that's forgetting about resort fees. Dang resort fees, man. Now if you don't know what a resort fee is, this is going to be kind of like a list of amenities that the hotel provides to you as a hotel guest. So it includes stuff like access to the pool, access to the gym, your internet, and other amenities such as that. Now I will say resort fees have gone up, so just average it about like maybe $45 per night. Yes, it is a per night fee, and then the worst part is that when you do book your reservation online, all it's gonna say is your room rate plus resort fees. So when you're booking it, it is gonna look like you're paying a lot less up until you add on those resort fees. And don't forget, they do tax them as well, so just add that into your budget. No, there is not a way for resort fees to be waived. Just accept it. Trust me, you don't want to be fighting with the front desk when everybody else has to pay this. Now, another mistake I would say is not considering the location of where you're staying, especially if it is your very first time or at least one of your first times. I would say try to stay as central as possible, such as where we are right now, the Caesar's Palace. This is probably one of the most central locations. Other places would be like the Bellagio, Horseshoe, the Link Hotel, the Cosmopolitan, the Flamingo. So that way everything is close by, and honestly, the more central you are, the safer it is. And also that way you're not taking forever just to get from one place to another. And then also kind of talking about first timers, you are going to need a lot more time than you think. I mean, I know a lot of people just kind of do like the 2-night stay here, but considering everything that there is to do here in Las Vegas, you're going to need a lot more time, especially with so many shows, so many restaurants, and so many things that you can do. Which then also talking about shows, another mistake would be booking the show the day of. The reason I say this is because, of course, a lot of these shows do get booked up the closer it is to showtime. And then another thing a lot of people do not know is that a lot of these shows will offer discounts. But of course, the closer you get to showtime, the less discounts there are. So go ahead, book while you're at home, call your concierge, call the box office, because you never know what discounts will be available. And then also kind of talking about discounts, another mistake would be not signing up for the player's card, because sometimes just signing up will get you those discounts to the shows. Sometimes you'll get upgrades over here for your room. You may even get discounts at restaurants or priority seating. And of course, you're already here at the hotels and you're spending money here, so might as well get points for that. And you never know, you'll go up in tiers and get even more discounts. And if you're gonna gamble as well, might as well use that player's card to insert it so that way you get more points for gambling. I just got hungry. Now, yes, even though we all love our Cheesecake Factory, I would say here in Las Vegas, do not go to chain restaurants. Just because here in Las Vegas, we are known to be one of the bigger food capitals, not only in the US, but probably the world as well. We truly do have an endless amount of amazing restaurants, ranging anything from local spots to fine dining to celebrity restaurants. Of course, the exception would be if you are out of the country and you've never had a Cheesecake Factory or you've never had an In-N-Out or anything like that, then yes, I would say go ahead and indulge. Get the chocolate mousse cheesecake. That one's my favorite. Now again, we do have endless amounts of restaurants here in Las Vegas. So another mistake I would say is not doing a little bit of research and not having a list of good restaurants that you want to check out. Again, we are known to have some amazing food. So just coming and settling for any restaurant is definitely something you don't want to do because you're going to miss out on some great dishes. So just make sure you do a little bit of research. Just literally Google top restaurants of Las Vegas. And I have plenty of videos and a whole playlist that you guys can check out. That way you have some restaurants that you have in mind that you want to check out. And not just restaurants, including bars and lounges. We have so many beautiful lounges with views, some that have some interesting drinks, and places that are just going to offer you such a good time. Now, because we do have so many restaurants that are known worldwide, I definitely would say make a reservation in time. So that's definitely a mistake that you just show up and think you're gonna walk in and just be seated right away. Some of these places, you need a reservation like weeks in advance. I mean, just an example, I would say it's like Hell's Kitchen right here at Caesar's Palace. Yeah, sometimes you're not gonna find a reservation online for maybe 3 weeks, or like Golden Steer is another place that always gets booked out weeks or even months in advance. So make sure you always do make your reservations in advance, especially the ones that you're really wanting to try. And then of course, because these places are filled up sometimes, another mistake I would say is being rude to the wait staff. Honestly, I would say just being rude to any staff here in Las Vegas, because you never know what this employee might do for you, whether if it's get you a free dessert, or even like the employees over at the front desk, they might get you a free upgrade just because they were nice and because they liked you, or they'll even bother to get you a good view. Or let's just say that a mistake happened or some sort of inconvenience and you start being rude. At that point, the employee is just going to want to solve the situation and get you out of their face, versus if you were kind, if you were patient, then again, they might do something good for you. And again, you never know, being nice might get you some benefits. Now, since we're kind of on the topic about food right now, I'm going to talk about the food that is in your room, aka the mini bar. Just don't touch it. Seriously, don't touch it. Everything that is on there is marked up maybe 3-4 times. It is so expensive. Like, you will see water bottles in there, 15-20 bucks, when you could have easily gone over to Walgreens, bought all your snacks there, bought all your water, even the alcohol in there. So that's definitely another mistake. Just do not touch the mini bar. Plenty of CVS's, we have plenty of Walgreens in every corner, the ABC stores. You're gonna spend so much money just by lifting up anything from the mini bar. You will get charged. Don't do it. And then finally, for restaurant, let's just say that you did do your homework, you have a list of restaurants and everything, but you wanna try a few more places, definitely ask a local here. So whether if it's your server, your bartender, anyone that you come across, they can give you some good suggestions. But even after they do give you the recommendation, I would still say don't always trust it. I mean, check the internet, check Yelp, look at the pictures, look at the prices, look at the ambience, just because what they tell you is good for them might not be your jam and is maybe what you're not looking for. It's definitely happened to me myself. So just make sure you check it. Even the recommendations that I give you, look it up for yourself and see if that's something that you would want to try. Because you definitely don't want to be here on your vacation and having food that you didn't even want in the first place. So, cheesecake? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little cold right now. So even though it is July right now while we're filming this and it's like 110 degrees outside, yes, you are gonna wanna dress light, still bring a jacket with you. At least a light jacket, because these casinos are freezing. They keep the AC running all day, and literally right before I came to film this, I thought about, should I bring a jacket? Especially the girls, some of y'all are gonna freeze, and guys too. I've had guys even tell me themselves that they thought it was cold inside of the casinos. So that's another mistake, is not bringing a jacket. And another mistake would be not checking the weather. I literally have people text me and message me all the time asking me what the weather is gonna be in November, thinking that it's gonna be hot, when no, November is actually pretty cold. Yes, even though we are a desert and everybody thinks that it's hot year round, it's truly not. We do get some pretty chilly temperatures, and there are some areas in Las Vegas that will even get snow, or sometimes you might not realize how hot it can get here in the middle of the summer. Again, we can get into the 110s. I mean, recently I think we just got like a record of 119, 120. So definitely check it so that way you can be prepared, and that way you're not bringing cold weather gear to a hot summer, and you'll save room in your luggage too. Now, just like I mentioned right now, Las Vegas is a desert, so make sure that you stay extra hydrated, always have water on you, any electrolytes, and especially when you're drinking, and even more especially when you're drinking the sweet drinks, always have like a little bit of water in between drinks, because here, whether if you're at the day club, nightclub, it does get to you really fast and you will get dehydrated, and I don't want to see you pass out on the floor. Not a cute look. Now, before we go outside, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have been walking all over the place. I mean, we were over at Caesars, walked around all over their forum shops. We were here at Paris. So there is going to be a lot of walking that you're going to be doing here. So of course, you're going to have to wear comfortable shoes. A mistake would definitely be wearing footwear that is not comfortable, whether if it's those cowboy boots, which I don't know, but I've heard that they're not very comfortable, or heels as well. Ladies, please not wear heels. I know you want to look cute. It's just not worth it. You are going to end up with blisters in the end. Some women even end up taking their shoes off in the middle of the street or in the casinos, which is another mistake. Do not take your shoes off because, first of all, gross. There's throw up all over the place. There's probably glass everywhere. It's dirty. And if you do it here inside of casinos, you will be asked to put them back on. So you just definitely do not want to be in pain while you're walking around. And then especially from casino to casino, which is kind of another mistake. People do not realize how far away these hotels are from each other. I mean, I know from right here, if you just go outside and you just start looking, you're going to see Caesar's Palace, you're going to see Rest in Peace Mirage, you're going to see Treasure Island, you're going to see all these different hotels and say, oh, that's definitely walkable. Yes, you can do it. It's going to hurt, especially if you're wearing heels, which also do not wear flimsy flip-flops, because especially right now that it is summer, the ground, it is super hot. I mean, you can even cook a steak, you could probably cook eggs on it. So if that flimsy flip-flop happens to break, now you're stuck walking on this really hot concrete. Just do not do it. Make sure that you wear some really secure sandals or even closed-toe shoes, which leads into my other mistake of not realizing how long everything takes to get to here. So a lot of people, they try to make their plans and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to this show, and then 30 minutes later, I'm gonna be at this restaurant. It's only gonna take me an hour to eat. So after that, 15 minutes later, I'm going to be at the club. Everything takes extra long here to do. Not only from the travel time of walking to service inside of the restaurants, they do want you to enjoy your time there. So they do kind of elongate your dinner service, to even transportation, to the taxi lines, to trying to get an Uber sometimes can get a while, to traffic at night. Our traffic here is insane. Just to probably get out of here from the Paris can take definitely a while. So just give yourself extra time. Oh, and even the lines over to the club, trying to get inside of the club can take a while too. So now for the next one, we have to go outside. Welcome to what I like to call Don't Do It Corner. So the reason that I like to call it Don't Do It Corner is because this is what I consider to be the most dangerous crosswalk in all of the Las Vegas Strip. Just because there are so many people who are jaywalking, which is the biggest mistake I would say. There are so many people jaywalking just because everybody thinks that this is a really small crosswalk. But here, I have seen so many almost accidents here. This guy just yelled, "No, what are you doing?" Wow. What are y'all doing? You have a child. Oh my Lord. Oh, fuck. Whoa. I'm in. Don't cross. Wait. Okay. You have a fucking child. I mean, people are just kind of like crossing. They're not really paying attention. Here in Las Vegas, it's just not a good idea. Reason being is because here on the Strip, we have so many different types of drivers. We have the distracted tourist that's not really paying attention. They're just kind of like looking around, looking at all the pretty buildings, all the pretty lights. We have the impatient local who is just tired of this traffic and just wants to get everywhere. So they're driving really fast, they're honking at everybody. And then the worst one, we have drunk drivers at all times of the day. Here in Las Vegas, it is called Sin City for a reason. I mean, everybody is here to indulge. And when I say also under the influence, it's not just drinking, but there could be people who are smoking marijuana. So not everybody is coherent. Oh, see, you will get honked at. Just don't jaywalk. I know jaywalking is different in other cities, but here in Las Vegas, I consider it to be so dangerous and people have died. Just don't do it. Oh, hot. So at this very moment, we are right across the street from what I like to call Trap City, which is right where the Bellagio fountains are. I mean, right there, especially at night, you're gonna see so many different street performers, street vendors. If you do choose to give your business to these vendors and these performers, I would just say make sure that you ask right up front what the price is, because you don't wanna have to buy their services and then you find out at the very end that it was way above your budget. And that is whether if you're buying one of these drinks from the coolers, if you're buying a hot dog, or if you're taking pictures with one of the performers, just make sure you always ask the price up front. One that I would say to not interact with at all would be the monks, just because, you know, they're gonna try to get you to give you a bracelet and have you sign something, give them money for a temple that doesn't even really exist. So really you're just giving your money to who knows who. And I have talked about this before. I like to call them the card flappers. They, how do I say this? They're giving a service that isn't very PG, if you know what I mean. And I have heard of a lot of people that get robbed from these entertainers. I just say don't do it. Just don't do it. Last year I did a video called Tourist Traps where me and my cameraman Tim called them, and it was a very interesting experience.
So $100 per girl, and it gets the party started.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
And then while we're over in this area as well, biggest mistake number one, you will get arrested if you jump into the Bellagio fountains. There have been plenty of people that do it just because it's hot or they just think it's funny. Don't do it. You will get arrested. By the time you try to get out of the fountains, majority of the time security or even the police are right there waiting for you to arrest your butt. Nice to see you again. You look good. We had big plans.
I'm sorry, but it's over. I hate you.
I'm just kidding, but kind of transitioning to that is not planning getting your wedding license correctly. I know Las Vegas is known to be the wedding capital of the world, but it is not as easy as the TV and other movies and shows have made it seem to be.
Hello, one marriage, please.
We want to get married.
It's actually quite a process. Like, you can't just show up to a chapel and just say, we want to get married. No, you have to go over to the Marriage License Bureau, which, good news, it is open pretty late until like midnight or something like that. So you can go anytime of the day, but you do have to both go there with your IDs and you do have to be sober. They're not going to give you a marriage license if you are intoxicated. Same thing with the chapels. If they see you're intoxicated, they are most likely not going to do anything for you. Which, talking about IDs, another mistake would be not bringing your ID or not bringing your passport. Literally bring it with you everywhere. A lot of times when you make purchases for like show tickets, or if you want to buy a drink, or even to get in the club, it does not matter if you are 90 years old, they will check everybody's ID. So make sure you have it with you. I, before as a concierge, had to decline a lot of transactions and a lot of purchases just because the person did not have their ID with them. And then also jumping into a club. Now, I do have a whole video addressing pretty much almost any question that you do have about getting into nightclubs, day clubs, but the main point would be is make sure that you use a promoter to get in. That way you're not paying all these crazy charges in order to get into the club. And another mistake would be dressing nice. I know for girls they can kind of get away with it a little bit more, but for the guys, make sure that you do dress up. Definitely do not wear any shorts into a nightclub, have nice shoes, and do not wear any sports apparel because they will deny you entry or they'll tell you to wear something else because, you know, it makes sense. Everyone's going to be like, no, my team's better, your team sucks, and there we go, fights. And last but not least, another mistake would be overlooking all the free attractions. Even though, yes, there's so much to do here in Las Vegas and there's a lot of money to be spent, there are a lot of free attractions that you can do. And we have so many videos about them. So make sure you check these out. They're a lot of fun. Phew, that was a lot of mistakes. But hopefully you guys are able to learn a little bit so that way when you do come to Las Vegas, you can have a happy and successful vacation. So as always, guys, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and comment below what are some mistakes that you guys have done. I'm really curious. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Do not accept.
Can you hear her?
Do not. Yeah.
So for the first mistake, sometimes a mistake is because, of course,
May I have your attention, please?
but the reason I say is that it's sometimes a mistake. It's yes, you can't use this as spy, and everybody shows up here right at. No, that sounds not making sense. Book more nights than you think you should. I mean, what I mean is. No, it's okay. Walking all over the place. I mean, we started over at Caesars and we were all up in there. That sounds weird.